We'll call the meeting to order. In the spirit of truth and reconciliation, we acknowledge the town of Edson is located on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional ancestral lands of the Nahinawak, Sotu, Siksika, Pagani, Kina, Dene, Nakota Sioux, and the Ottapimisiwak Métis Nations. We honor the knowledge of this land, the elders and youth which gather here, and our ancestors who have gathered here for centuries. With that, I would like a motion, please, for motion to accept the agenda. Councillor Chenard.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Thank you. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? None. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Those opposed? That motion is carried. All right. Next, if I get a motion, please, to accept the minutes of the October 15th, 2024 organizational meeting. Councillor Moore.
I so move.
Thank you. Is there errors, omissions, deletions, or corrections to such minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor? Those opposed? That motion is carried. If I could get a motion, please, for the minutes of the October 15th, 2024 regular meeting of council. Councillor Taylor.
I so move.
Thank you. Any errors, omissions, deletions, or corrections to such minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? That motion is carried. All right, no public hearings. We have no presentations or delegations, no bylaws. Item 1 is our business item, and CEO Beveridge is going to present on appointment of our returning officer.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Posishny. Tonight, I have the pleasure of introducing the RFD for our appointment of a returning officer for the 2025 municipal election. In accordance with the Local Authorities Election Act, Section 13, Council must appoint a returning officer for the upcoming election. And at this point, I would recommend that Adrian Tate is appointed as the returning officer. Adrian has been with us for a couple of years now, actually, and you know, her passion for municipal government and elections and everything in between has been something that we've benefited from in the organization, and I have I have full confidence in Adrian's abilities to conduct the election on behalf of the town of Edson.
Great. Thank you. If I get a motion that we can appoint Adrian Tate as a returning officer for the 2025 municipal election. Councillor Chenard.
I'll make the motion to appoint Adrian Tate as a returning officer for 2025 municipal election.
Thank you. Any discussions? Councillor Taylor.
Through the Deputy Mayor, I'll just say this is an excellent choice. Excellent choice.
Any other discussions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor? Those opposed? That motion is carried. Next, we have a presentation from Darren Boysko for our Fleet and Utilities Manager.
Good evening, Deputy Mayor, members of council. I'm just here to update you on about a year and a half ago, you guys had a presentation done by McElhaney, whereas it was a sanitary condition assessment. They had one area that was a big concern with council and with us. We had about 17.5% of infiltration in the area, kind of shown up in green. After that presentation, we had a couple of manhole sensors that they didn't have some data on, which was basically allowing us to maybe think Glenwood was the area. So we did some other preliminary stuff this summer with manhole covers. And also early in March of 2024, we did some sampling of the pond and of our sanitary sewer water just to make sure there's no infiltration from that, just to kind of rule everything out. Obviously now, so where we're at, we've done all that kind of stuff. Our next steps kind of things, we're trying to narrow the area down. The reason for the infiltration is what we want to find out for. Now, basically the reason where we went to there is we should see some type of drop in our manhole sensors in the evenings. The one at the RCMP station was still staying about 15 to 17 liters per second, which is obviously a little bit higher than we should be. We should be seeing it down anywhere from 3 to 5 liters per second at some time during the night, whether that's 2 a.m., 3 a.m., that kind of stuff. So right now we've kind of had some over by Canadian Tire. We're narrowing the arrow down now to kind of the core area of that spot in green. And what we're hoping to do is this summer and this spring and fall is kind of narrow with our smart covers down and kind of pick each area, whether it's the Nova Inn or some of the areas either north and east. We're going to kind of work our way from the west, working our way east and see if we can't see any increase in flow and narrow it down. Is it something, you know, with a hotel that's always running, or what's the reasoning for that? So I just kind of wanted to update council where we're at, because obviously it's been quite a while, and I know it was high on your radar list, so I wanted to make sure that you knew we were not just sitting on it, we we're doing something and what we were going kind of thing with it. So any questions, concerns, or?
Through the Deputy Mayor to Mr. Briscoe. Just to refresh my memory and for the public listening, so these monitors we put on the manhole covers is monitoring the flow going through the system, is that correct?
Through the chair to Councilor Chenard, yes, it's basically it measures the flow, so it's just a sensor and we can measure the flow, and it's real-time data all the time. So then they can take that data over, and we want to get usually a couple months worth of data, so we want to get that highs and the lows, and they just watch where you can get the peak flows, the relaxed flows, and what we want to see is a consistency. And that's where they know it's a consistency, and a lot of those other sensors will always drop down at night, except for that one always stayed a really high. So now we're trying to narrow down where is it coming from, because obviously we have multiple points of access within that area, so we're just trying to narrow down that area.
Okay, thank you for clarification.
Councillor Moore?
Through the chair, is smart cover another name for a sensor? Or,
Through the chair to Councillor Moore, basically it's just some technology that we can use. It's what they call, it's kind of, I guess, their brand name. So we have the app, so we use that in some of our problem areas where we can monitor the levels. It's been successful in saving at least one plug where the manhole sensor caught it. We were able to get rid of a plug before it actually caused any damage to the homes. And what we've been using those for right now is to basically narrow down any of our areas of concern where we have flow issues or capacity issues. We're trying to gather that data so we know where we can best spend our money to be able to be the most effective.
thank you.
Any other questions? I have a question. So is it the heavier flows at night? Or is it just in the daytime?
Basically, the heavier flows are staying consistently higher during the nighttime where they should be dropping. So the flows do go up in comparison during the day when everybody's starting to use it, whether it's the hotels or the residents or the businesses in that area. But what we're finding is that the flow's not dropping off as much as it should in the evening. So at like 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning, where the rest of the sensors have all dropped, let's say they're running 7 or 8 liters per second, the other manhole sensors are dropping down to 2 to 3 liters per second. That other one, manhole sensor, is anywhere from 20 to 22, and it's only dropping down to about 17, whereas that one should drop a lot lower than that for the flow per hour.
And you've ruled out Glenwood because if I recall, does the dealership up there not pump out at night?
Sorry, yeah, through the chair. Yes, we have ruled out Glenwood. It does pump out just when the tanks are full onto there. So what we did is we had one sensor in the 2023 study that was in basically at the truck fill station. And it took, Glenwood basically has one line that runs to the cemetery and one line that runs to the west of the Petro-Canada bulk station. We split up the sensors and put one on each of those lines, and both of those were consistent with the flows dropping low at night. So we could effectively rule out all of Glenwood. Whereas in the 2023 study, we had one. When they seen that anomaly to them, it seemed like it was too low. So they actually threw out that data and kind of lumped Glenwood in with Schedule A area. So we've effectively now confirmed that all of Glenwood is not in that area.
Okay. Thank you. Does anybody have any other questions? Oh, Councillor Chechka.
Thanks. So through the chair to Darren, thanks for the explanations and your guys' work on this. So my question, or I guess inquiry maybe more, just to clarify my understanding. So the infiltration going into the sanitary lines in that kind of highlighted area that you're kind of narrowing down on, you know that so we've confirmed that it's not like someone leaving the tap water on all night, and we're expecting it to be groundwater type infiltration. Is that what we like? Do we know what the reason is for it, or how that water's or not how the water's coming in, but that it's not metered water, I guess.
Through the chair to Councillor Chechka, I honestly don't know at this time. That is kind of the struggle at the moment. That's kind of why we had really thought it might have been infiltration from the pond or something. We've kind of ruled that out with sampling testing. The only way we'll be able to really find out is, I'm not sure, is it, because we do have a hotel with a pool in that area. We don't know if it's something like that or if it is groundwater. So until I can actually use our covers and camera, now that we have a little bit of time, we can start cameraing the lines and see if there's, you know, a service that's always running or a crack in the pipe that looks like it's got infiltration. That's the stuff we're gonna be kind of looking for now. It's just that we were working on such a large area previously that we needed to narrow that down a lot. And that was our biggest struggle and the nice part about all that stuff is basically from Cedars is where that line ends, and it goes down past the museum, past the RCMP, and into that line. So we've got the line narrowed down. We just now have to start working from basically 1st Ave to 4th Ave, from 54th to about 62nd Street, right on that area. So we kind of got a pretty good area, but I honestly don't know, or nor do I want to guess at this moment what if it's infiltration or is it actually just something that's, like I say, is it a pool, is it a service, is it something leaking? So we're just trying to do our best right now to figure out the best way of attack, and then we can kind of come back to council if there's something we need to fix, or is it something easy we can attack.
Councillor Bevan.
Through the chair to Darren, just on Councillor Chaska's question there, if it's a metered water, you should be able to see the usage from everybody that uses it, if their metered water is going up higher or not ever, you know, whatever in that, eh? Like if you have a leaking toilet, for example, all of a sudden somebody comes in and says, I used 7,000 gallons of water and I didn't use any, but, you know, my toilet was running all night sort of deal, or for the last month and that. Has anything like that showed up in our records at all?
Through the chair to Councillor Bevan, we've been looking at, just because there's so many hotels in there, we have been monitoring. It is staying fairly consistent. The only thing we can imagine is that there's possibly, and that's why we're kind of going back to either the pool or maybe there's something in their system that's continually leaking. It was leaking before they did the sanitary assessment, and it's still leaking afterwards. So that data would still be skewed before they started it. So that was kind of that was our thought process too, is we could use some of the hotels, are they using all of a sudden more? But because we did that study, is what flagged it, it could have been a problem existing before the study was done. That's where we're kind of struggling at the moment.
I have one further question. So, have we cameraed all the sewer lines in that neighborhood? Like we run a camera through, like flushed and cameraed them?
Through chair, we haven't got to it yet. That is our goal. We kind of run out of time with capital projects and stuff over the summer. So that is our goal now. We flushed our problem sewers first thing, or any sewers that we might have problems with. Obviously, part of that grade was there was a lot of 0% grade sanitary sewers, so we're trying to get caught up in that while the weather's nice. And then our goal is once it gets too cold to flush, then we'll be able to get out there with the camera, because the camera doesn't mind being down there at minus 10 and 15, whereas the flusher truck is not very happy at that temperature.
One further on that then too. So hypothetically, we could have a situation where we have a broken water line that's found a crack in the sewer and just basically pouring water straight into the sewer. Could that be plausible?
Possible. We're not seeing any increase in our water production, and typically with either our cast iron pipes, if I have a crack in it, I notice right away. So typically it's that many liters per second, it's got to have a pretty direct access to it. And our ground, just because we have so much groundwater table, it would be coming to the surface probably before it would come to there. But and either that might be a fairly major crack, but that's something we're hoping to investigate when we can start to, like I say, narrow down that area and get our cameras in there and kind of get the eyes on and do some more data collection.
Great. Well, thank you. Any further comments, questions? All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Briscoe. Thank you
very much.
Appreciate the presentation. And with that, I'll accept a motion to accept this infiltration investigation update as information, please. Councillor Bevan.
I'll make the motion that council accept the sanitary sewer system infiltration investigation update as information.
Thank you. Any discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? That motion is carried. All right, we're whipping through this agenda. It's not a record, but we'll be close. Council committee reports. We're here already. Let's start on with Councillor Bevan.
Okay, October 17th, I had a Community Futures West Yellowhead meeting. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to leave it up to Council Chaska to brief us, because I did not bring anything for it. That's my report.
Thank you. Councillor Taylor.
All right, thank you. On October 16th, I attended a library board meeting. And earlier in the day, we accepted the library board accepted a $10,000 donation from Weyerhaeuser for the renovation project, for the furnishings for the renovation project. And on October 18th, I attended and I was privileged enough to MC the official grand opening or grand reopening of the library, and it was fantastic. We had a lot of people there celebrating this new gem in our community, and lots of great comments and positive feedback for the people that were in there for the very first time. So I think that's the last time you're gonna hear me talk about the renovation project in my committee reports. So, I don't know if that's a thankful thing or I don't know. But anyways, moving on. On the 19th of October, I attended the budget workshop, followed by our engagement session. On October 22nd, I attended the YRL, Yellowhead Regional Library Board strat planning session, where we talked about just various things we'd like to see. There was a topic of discussion of, in smaller communities, combining municipal and school libraries, but I did say in our community, we have a good separation, but schools are welcome to use the library. But there was a brief discussion on that. On October 28th, I attended homelessness task force meeting, and the task force has decided, and you may have seen it being advertised, to host a meeting for our business community, as the number one thing from the Community Futures Business Walk from our local businesses was issues with homelessness. And so the meeting's going to be on November 20th at 7 p.m. at the Bingo Hall at the Friendship Center. And we're inviting business owners, managers to come down, and it is a discussion. Staff Sergeant Delay will be emceeing the event to start that discussion, and it's going to be a good place to start in terms of moving forward and how we can sort of mitigate some of the issues that we're seeing in the downtown core especially. So on November 4th, last night, I attended a youth council meeting, and we had a presentation from Health Here Together, as well as the youth council decided on their project for this year, which will focus on homelessness in a variety of different capacities. And that is my report.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Councillor Chenard. Just have to bear with me. It's a very small button.
There we go. For my report, October 19th, budget workshop, and on the 18th, also attended the library reopening, and that's it for my report.
Thank you, Councillor Chenard. Councillor Moore.
Yes, on October 15th, council organizational and regular meeting. 18th, the library opening. That was exciting. October 19th, budget meeting, public session in the council chambers with that. And October 30th, I attended the Edson and District Historical Society meeting. And there's a lot of exciting things going to be happening in the new year, new artifacts and everything else, and it'll be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Moore. Councillor Chechka.
Okay, on October 17th, I attended the Community Futures West Yellowhead board meeting. So a few things there. We talked about our fall business walk debriefs, just a few things that each of the communities had. Jasper didn't do one because which is the right time to do one. Our digital service squad program, the funding we received for that has finished up. We found that project, there was a lot of interest in it, and businesses, want to maybe get, a website or start getting online, but they didn't want someone so this is very generalized feedback. They didn't want someone just to teach them how to do it. They just wanted someone else to do it. And that was, so we can still maybe offer that service of teaching them, but it'll just be geared a little bit differently now. We have our strategic planning session coming up in November. what else? Lots of various types of updates on the Jasper wildfire. More information coming soon on that. And then on October 18th, I attended the library re-grand opening. October 19th, our budget engagement workshop. And on October 21st, we had just a small steering committee of our town portion, just to get some quick feedback. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councillor Chashka. My report, along with everybody else, attended the library reopening on the 18th, on the 19th, the budget workshop, on the 21st, the YCE steering meeting, and on the 4th, the youth council, along with Councillor Taylor, and that is my report. We have no information items, no notices of motion, but we do have in closed session. We'll need a motion that we go in camera for pursuant to section 17 and 24 of the Freedom of Information and Privacy Act. If I get a motion for that, please. Councillor Chenard.
I'll make the motion to go in camera.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. All right, so we have no business arising from our closed session, so I will adjourn the meeting at this time. We are adjourned.